Good morning. Hi. Hi, everybody. It is 6:30 in the morning. I just got back from work. I want to show you my doll. It was my mom's doll. She loved dolls. Like, she loved them and collected them. A lot of antique dolls. And this is the one I think she got in England. There's two of them in the closet, and they're both tall like this, and they both kind of have a similar look. One of them I remember that she bought before I was born in England, a long time ago, and I remember seeing it all the time growing up. And this one, I think, is it. But I put a bag over her hand so the cat doesn't chew her fingers. I could just see the cat like eating her fingers off. And this little puppy dog, I collect Gund, G-U-N-D. It's a brand of stuffed toys. Look how old this one is. It has like a plastic face. Reminds me of Lady, like from Lady and the Tramp. I love it. And look, I want to show you, this is a cash register that my dad bought in England. I believe it was like when they moved there, I think they got it, because it was before I was born in 77. It doesn't work, but I was hoping, because it doesn't look like it's in back condition or anything, and the pieces are there and the key and everything. I was hoping I can maybe in the future get it to work. And this dolly, I made it. Isn't it adorable? Let me tell you real quick about my mom. Because she loved dolls, she made porcelain dolls. When we were in Alaska, she was so good at it. She started doing classes. They didn't have a lot of things like that back then, I guess. And it was really popular. She had a lot of people, and she made these most beautiful porcelain dolls. And my grandma, who was the best seamstress I've ever known, she made all these little outfits for the dolls. This one is just a simple outfit as far as the ones I remember goes, because it's just for like a little, you know, petticoat, kind of like a baby doll. But some of the outfits she made were, oh my goodness. Unfortunately, my mom had kept most of her stuff as a teenager, like her doll collections and the dolls she made, all her stuff when we moved from Alaska to North Carolina. She put it at my grandma's house in her storage buildings. And when my grandma died, my mom's brother basically just like took everything. So my mom's brother, his name's Weldon, them and the Edwards all have like my mom's dolls. I don't know if they still have them. They might have sold them. Who knows? But I think I have like one or two of them around the house. But that's one I made for the Tanana Valley Fair in Alaska when I was a child. My mom helped me, of course. I can't believe I found it. I love finding these things from my past. These memories, man. And this is a gun I found of my mom's that she had bought when we lived in North Carolina. It's made out of real mohair, and it's like an LE of like 300 and something. I remember she paid a whole lot for it, and I was so jealous because I collected guns and she collected teddy bears, and I always wanted that one, but now I have it, and it's even more special because it used to be my mom's. Like I said, just got back from work. They've only been having us work about 3 hours instead of 4 to 5 because it's slow, and that's gonna hurt paycheck wise. But I was so hungry this morning. I was telling my friend there at work, I was like talking about food all morning long, and she was like, stop. So of course, as soon as I get home, I have the oven on, my stomach is growling, and I am going to make me a cup of tea. I'm going to make some Elizabiscuits, which is biscuits I've been making forever. And unfortunately, I don't have my recipe card. See, when I was a nanny, I would spend hours when the kids were sleeping or napping, and I would copy down recipes I wanted to make onto little cards. And I had found those. It was right when I moved out from Amy's house, and I was going to take them with me, but she said she was going to make a copy and give them back, so I left them, which I shouldn't have, because now I don't have them. I wish I had my Elizabiscuits recipe, though, because I don't quite remember it. But I think it's 1 2/3 cup of flour, 2/3 cup of milk, 1/3 cup of oil, 1 teaspoon of salt, and 1 tablespoon of baking powder. And that's it. Very simple. I know a lot of recipes, like for baking powder biscuits, use like butter and they put sugar, but the butter tastes better, but the oil is better if you get a good oil. And these biscuits are so simple and easy. I just put a little cheese in there. I'll make me some eggs, go with it, some fried eggs. Oh yeah. I mixed my ingredients, just the dry ingredients, like I said, the flour, the salt, the baking powder. I just put a tiny cheese in, not much at all, really. These I mainly want to eat with that honey that I bought for Christmas. I love a little honey on a biscuit. But look, I wanted to show you at Amazon, I won a prize, a gift. Like 2 days ago, like on a spin the wheel thing. Look, I never heard of a Yeti, but this is like such a nice thick cup. It's like a leak-proof mug that I won. I think on Amazon they were like 30 bucks when I looked, or 30 something dollars. Isn't that nice? I was like, woohoo! So they bake at 475, which is the highest I've ever baked anything, honestly. And they make sure that the rack is on the top shelf, and they bake for 8 minutes. I just added the liquid, and you want to like barely not even stir it. I mean, you kind of like flip it around 3 or 4 times until it gets you know, the dry stuff was a little moist, but you don't want to stir it at all. You guys ready to see my disgustingly dirty oven? Ta-da! See all that crap down there in the bottom? Who cleans your oven? That's what I want to know. Do you guys actually clean your oven? I don't recall, like maybe once in my life ever cleaning an oven. That was probably because I was moving out of a house or something. I know I should. I just moved the shelf up to the top, let all the hot air out, which I'm not supposed to do. Put the biscuits in. See you in 8 minutes, guys. Let's have my tea. Now, there's another thing I'm weird. I don't like to have my stuff together. Like, I want my tea right now, and then I want my biscuits afterwards, and then after the biscuits, I want my eggs. Whereas most people would like to sit down and have their tea, their biscuit, and their eggs together on the table in front of them. Which way do you like it? Look, you guys, here's my safe that I was telling you guys about. I love it. Best purchase, man. I recommend it to everybody. It makes you feel so secure with like your birth certificates, any of your like titles or anything you want to stick in there. Even if it's just junk, you know, it's just nice to have a safe. They had a dial where you just press it in like a digital one, but I wanted this old-timey. I love it. I love westerns. It reminds me of like a western. Ooh, I love it. In case you really do want to buy one, I bought these Steel Water. They're on Amazon. That's the brand, Steel Water. It's so funny. Let me tell you real quick. The first one I bought was, I didn't think it sounded that large. Plus, I'm alone, okay? I had no one to help me with it. I was like, oh man, I can lift that. Thank goodness it came damaged. The corner was all dented, and they do, you know, of course they take it back. They don't make it keep it or anything. Thank goodness I got to return it because that was 2 times too big. Not the inside. I would love to have one that size, but there's no way without like 3 super strong men or like a crane I would ever be able to get that in my house. This smaller one, they say only weighs 250 pounds that I did end up getting. I still had to pay a guy in the neighborhood to lift it in up my 2 steps for me because there's no way. That thing weighs a freaking ton. And there you have it. Elizabiscuits. Enjoy. Stay tuned because in a little while for lunch, well, it'll be a few hours for me, but for you it'll be a matter of seconds. No. I'm going to make chicken nuggets, okay? Before, like, I got these cast iron pans like a year ago, I never made my own chicken nuggets. I only got them from like McDonald's, and the only reason I ever got chicken nuggets is because I like the dipping sauce, honestly. Chicken nuggets are delicious, but it wasn't like a huge thing for me. But oh my gosh, after I make them myself, I'm telling you, best nuggets ever. It's lunchtime. Chicken, of course. Chicken nuggets, even better. I'm going to cut these up. You're going to want them in larger chunks than normal. I'll show you when I do that. You're going to need egg. Actually, they say also, instead of egg, that you can use mayonnaise, and it's really good for like battering, but I've not tried that yet. oil to fry in. I use the cast iron. It cooks them really crispy yet super tender on the inside. I'm not sure how a normal pan, would work. I'm sure you can fry it up in that. I'm not sure if they'll be the best nuggets frickin' ever though. But one of the things that will make them that is this flour. It's Wondra. It's like I guess maybe a really thinner, what is it, like a more sifted, I don't know how they call it, flour, a finer flour. And breadcrumbs for the coating. And I just put salt, garlic, and pepper as my seasonings. But you can use, oh, and some of that poultry seasoning. But you can use anything you want. So it doesn't take long to actually make the chicken nuggets. And they are really good warmed over the next day. They would be super good if you had like one of those air fryers or something that crisps it up, right? Or toaster oven or whatever they're called. The thing that takes a while is the whole dipping steps. I don't know if you guys ever have breaded like chicken or something, but I'll show you in case you haven't. But it takes a little while to get it all breaded. And you can double bread it too. I do that with a few pieces to make it like extra crunchy. I used 2 breasts, and what I did was I just cut the breasts down in the middle and then cut them in chunks. Bigger than the 1-inch ones, just a little bigger. You don't want them too large, but just nice big chunks. And you're going to want to put them on a paper towel and then use another paper towel and get all the moisture you can off so the flour sticks to it. And like I said, because the process takes so long to bread it, I'm not going to turn the pan on yet or it'll just get too hot. So wait on that. I'm about to whisk the eggs. I use these dumb paper plates because I don't want to wash a ton of dishes. And they work fine except for the crumbs. You need a lot more crumbs for the coating and they might make a mess, but it will. You don't really need that much flour for coating it. And I'm going to put a little of the salt or the flavor, not the garlic. You don't add that till the end because it will burn. I'm just put a little bit of salt in the breadcrumbs. The salt is best at the end. It's like, I don't know why, it just gives it like an extra yummy flavor if you add it right at the end in the oil when it's done hot frying. And I also have extra plates to put them on when they're coated, so then I can heat up my pan and everything and they can sit there and wait a minute while I do that. I might try one of these with the mayonnaise. I really want to see what it's like since they said it's better than egg. Except for I'm like, mayonnaise is worse for you calorie-wise and everything than egg. Even though it is made of egg. But how would you coat it? That's what I want to know. How would you just like smear it on the chicken or something? Let's try it, hey? Okay, I got a disposable spoon. Got a spoon of mayonnaise. I'll stick it here on the chicken plate for now. I'll stick this in the refrigerator. So like I said, I'm never a huge nugget fan. I mean, of course nuggets are delicious, but they wasn't like my thing. And for me to say, oh my gosh, these are the bomb, if you know any nugget lovers, or if you are, you'll love this. You gotta try making nuggets. I never thought about it until I read a recipe online, and it was like, it sounded so easy. And I was like, oh yes. So the first step will be to make sure your chicken, like I said, was dry. And you're going to want to coat it in the flour first, or the egg won't stick. So the egg needs to stick to something dry. So just coat it good in the flour. There shouldn't really be any, because it's a fine flour, any extra clumps or anything. I'm going to try the mayonnaise before the egg. Now see, you have a dry flour fingers. You don't want to touch the mayonnaise and then touch the flour. You don't want to touch the wet and the dry. So you want to keep your dry fingers dry and your wet fingers wet. So, I don't know how to do this. I'm going to use my fingers, I guess. I'm a finger person. I don't want it to be like gobs of mayonnaise on it. I don't know. I love playing with food. Okay, so there's our egg mayonnaise. And then after that, you dip it in the crumbs and use your dry fingers to crumb it up. Oops, I forgot to salt the crumbs. I'll have to do that here in a second after I wash. Make sure you don't cross-contaminate things with your chicken, you guys, and make yourself super sick. So there's a breaded, yummy chicken piece. Now you can start the process all over again. You could dip it in the egg really quickly and then dip it back in this crumbs here. But I'm not going to do that. It's, you know, once is enough. They're good how they are. I don't need to be extra. And so then you just lay it aside. And you do that to all your chickens. But instead of the mayonnaise, you just dip it in the egg, you know. Here we go. You want to make sure your pan's nice and hot, or it'll just not be good, because nothing worse than a not hot pan. Put your biggest ones in first. Oh yeah. I like to put them on a plate with a towel. I'm going to cook them until the edges start to come up really brown and done. Because I know from, you know, when we like sear our chicken, the white, it starts to cook slowly, and you don't want to just keep flipping and flipping and flipping it. So just let it cook until it starts to get really done looking on the edges. Kind of like a pancake. I don't really have much oil at all, but I think it's, like I said, the pan is such an awesome pan. Oh yes. And even if it might look a little burnt or anything, they never taste like it. I mean, it's like you can't cook them too much. They're just so yummy. These are the better ones like this. Oh, it smells so good in here. This is a thick one. This is probably the thickest one. I'll definitely use that to cut them and test them. Or this one. That's a big one. Okay, I think it's only been like 2 minutes per side. I put a little salt and garlic on this. I'm going to flip them over and then put a little salt and garlic on the other side. Well, I say while it's hot, it's just so good like that. So don't forget to season it a little more with your salt. Let's see if it's done. Always check it, because you don't want to not have it done. Oh, that's perfect. Perfect. You want to add some fresh oil to the pan. And then go ahead and stick your last batch in, or whatever you have left. And there you have it. These are just the juiciest, delicious nuggets, man. I hope you enjoy that lunch like I'm going to. So these are like done, and I was eating these, I can't resist, even though it's burning my tongue. And this one tastes so much better, and I was like, why? And it's the mayonnaise one. I totally forgot. So if you guys ever want to try that, it really is, it works, and it worked fine, and it's even more tasty.